Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, where science meets spirituality and unravels the mysteries of the mind and the universe. I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin, a self-mastery mentor, born intuitive medium, and licensed health provider with a knack for blending neuroscience with a touch of the cosmic. This radio show skips the small talk and dives straight into the big, impactful energies. You're in the right place if you're a growth-minded, science-loving, wellness enthusiast, or a spiritual seeker ready to kick limiting beliefs to the curb. I've got you covered, from self-mastery tips to deep dives into manifestation and the esoteric. Buckle up, because we're about to upgrade your mind and master your life. Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin, and I am so thrilled you're here on this amazing life adventure with me. This radio show is going to be packed with so much goodness for you, especially if you are someone that is interested in consciousness, mindset, the unseen energies, as well as the esoterics, and so much more. This is going to be your podcast, your radio show, to be able to experience that high level frequency of information connection, as well as sharing your thoughts and what is important to you. And this is a space for the collective. We are going to explore the frontiers of the cosmic mind. I am an expert in the cosmic mind, and I will talk so much more about that. But essentially, the cosmic mind is your higher self. Getting into the higher mind and past the ego self, which we will talk a lot about, and different techniques, as well as just overall mindsets to be able to get past those barriers. I am a decoder of the universe, and really being able to figure out messages that we receive from our higher self, light beings, and really being able to navigate this journey. I find that this journey really is more about, it's like a scavenger hunt per se. And so I get so excited about sharing how to use some of these perspectives, as well as the esoterics and symbolism, numerology, astrology, human design, the list goes on and on and on, as well as dreams. I decode dreams, the subconscious mind. So it's definitely an integration of the unseen energies with some of those scientific energies, such as the subconscious mind and psychology. So super excited to share all of this with you. And we are going to be weaving together the science, spirituality, and also self-mastery. So self-mastery is really about mastering your life, mastering your consciousness. And we are going to talk so much about that. And I really am here to, my life purpose is about helping you unlock your highest awakened version of yourself. And I will talk more about my spiritual awakening. I am a born intuitive medium, so I have been very aware of, essentially, more than anything, people's thoughts as well as energies around people. I started being very aware of that as a young child, knowing things that I should have not really known about people that were around me. And I really didn't quite understand why I had this gift until after I had my spiritual awakening about 8 years ago. And I will talk more about that. I am writing a book about it as well. The book is Awakening the Cosmic Mind, which is set to come out this spring of 2025. And I can't wait to share that with you as well. So this is such a great place, as I had already mentioned, for anyone that is curious about consciousness. Maybe you are someone that is well versed in that. You're looking for more perspectives and ideas. This is going to be a great place for you. If you also are someone that's looking for a deeper meaning in life, you feel that there is much more. Maybe you possibly are someone that feels like an outcast and that you just don't fit into this world of really being a follower, and that you want deeper meaning, and you're not okay with just doing the routine of life, and really looking more for that tapestry and that vibrancy of life, and really being able to find your truest, highest self, then this is going to be the place for you. Here we are going to find so much clarity, connection, and absolutely tons of inspiration. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much for showing up today and tuning in, taking a chance on listening to something that you've never heard of. Of course, it's a new podcast, so it's a new community, and also maybe you were just drawn to it, and that actually is how most of my listeners and clients actually find me, is through this unique, synchronistic way, as if the universe was drawing you towards the information that I am here to share with you, because it's something that you need. So we are definitely going to be awakening to so much, and I can't wait to share so much with you and your awakening journey. So, all right. So what is Intuitive Mind Lab all about? Well, simply put, we're here to bridge the gap between science and spirit. And that's really why I chose the name Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, because I am such a huge proponent of science with, that physical understanding. Obviously, we're having a physical experience. We are in physical bodies, but we are energetic beings. We are infinite consciousness, which means that we are connected to everything, and our body is not in control. Our consciousness is in control, which would be your higher self. And so your higher self is always helping you, to guide you on the journey. But we are conditioned to believe that our bodies are really, or our minds, our ego minds, are really the driver of the ship. And this is absolutely not true. And I am here. I'm on a mission. It's my life purpose. It's part of my near-death experience that I had, which is the spiritual awakening that I had mentioned a few moments ago, of really being able to awaken your power within and helping as many souls that I am really here to touch the lives of, and your experience and others listening. I'm really being able to help you discover who you are, rather than having you rely on a system or specific techniques or these big programs. Or I'm all about just showing you simply how to do it. And we're going to talk a lot about that. And I'll try not to digress. That is something that I absolutely do as an energy channel. I'm constantly channeling energy and information and downloads at every moment that I'm talking, pretty much. When I start turning it on, when I am doing podcast, is a time that I definitely start channeling. So I'll try to keep it on point here, but it makes it fun. So like I was saying, I am such a proponent on the integration of science with those unseen energies. And so, science really is starting to show that so much of what we thought was new age or woo-woo, I don't even like necessarily saying that, because it just feels foreign to even say that anymore, because people that have experienced these higher vibrational energies, which is yourself, and these higher versions of you, don't really consider it to be weird. It's just that it just feels like you. Maybe the rest of the world feels like it's weird, but if you're listening to this, chances are you're not like everyone else, and you feel very dialed in and connected to something that you can't quite explain to most of the population. And you might feel outcast from your family, or you might feel outcast from friends, or feel that you're moving away from people. You found this right at the right time, and I know exactly how you feel. And if that is you, we are going to talk more about that. So I want you to understand that it's fully possible to be able to integrate science and spirit. And so anyone that's saying that that's not possible, I remember years ago, about 10 years ago, I'd heard someone actually say that to me. Well, you can't do that. Well, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Science is actually starting to prove that energy very much exists, and things that we can't quite explain. And in the quantum energies, that is something that science is explaining a lot of, but they just have different names. Like, for example, aura is in science is biofield. So they're talking about the same things. It's just they're using different language. And that really has been going on for a long time. And so I think that the best way to journey through this experience is really to be open-minded, and just know that 99%, maybe 98% of what you're experiencing is actually energy. It's everything comes from energy. And I will talk more about that as far as at the cellular level, because it is interesting when we start really thinking about what is energy. Well, energy can't be destroyed. It can only be recreated into something else. And so when there's a ton of cells, we create physical matter. And so that's essentially what your body is, and spirit is your cells. And so when we see that someone has transitioned out of the body, I prefer to say it that way because I don't really believe that we ever truly die. I believe that we just transition into something else or to somewhere else, or we transition back into our whole selves and we were having this human experience and part of us was here with the body. And it's actually all those cells is your spirit. And so when someone transitions out of the body, that body just looks like a shell. And so I've always found that to be really powerful. And it makes a lot of sense to me that the spirit is actually, or soul, or higher self, or however you prefer to refer to it as, is actually what keeps the body moving and keeps the heart going and keeps the body alive. And so and then that body goes right back to the earth and it's transitioned into something else. And so we will talk more about that, but it is incredibly interesting to me, the interconnectedness of science and spirit and how we can see very much crossovers. So we get the best of both worlds, and I think that that's very amazing. I also am an expert in natural reproductive medicine and energetic spiritual fertility, and that's not why you're here. You might know somebody that is looking to get pregnant, or maybe you are and you stumbled across this or this interests you. And so that is what I do, and that with my clients that are looking to get pregnant is also teaching them, guiding them really to understanding that they are way more than their physical body, and that we can use scientific therapies for things and anything with health. It doesn't just have to be fertility, and we can integrate it with therapies or different thought processes to be mindfulness, hypnotherapy, meditation, just perspective, just reframing and perspective and change. It rewires our brain and really gives us the opportunity to be able to create the lives that we want. And our body starts actually showing us that we are on the right track, because a lot of times people are actually healing themselves just in a perspective shift. And you do have to be patient. So I do hear people say, well, I'm trying and it's not working. Well, if you're thinking that, then there is some lack mentality that already is there. So then we focus on trying to figure out what that is to be able to get you out of that rut. So anyway, I won't digress too much on that, because we will talk more about health and healing the body and rewiring your mind and really being able to show that there's physical proof. Neuroplasticity is one that the brain actually will show that it is healing just based on people doing mindset and mind-body connection work and different perspective changes. So the subconscious mind is really powerful. So we'll explore questions. Some questions that might come up for you is, what does it mean to live intuitively? What is quantum physics, and how can it teach us about ancient wisdom? And perhaps most importantly, how can you use this knowledge to live a more authentic, purposeful life? And so we'll get into questions like that on this show. I can't wait to share it with you. I'm going to help you be in the best version of yourself. And like I stated in the very beginning, there's so much goodness coming, and I'm going to have experts on here, people that also have amazing perspectives on the energy and helping you to be able to live in your intuitive energies and feel comfortable being who you are. Ancient wisdom, philosophies. It's just going to be really, really great. So I'm so excited, so excited. So when we tap into the cosmic mind, which again, remember that is that higher mind, that awakened version of you. So it's different than the human mind, which we'll talk about the differences in those, that the infinite connection between ourselves and the universe, we can access truths and bring clarity and peace as well as joy into our lives. And these are not just lofty ideas. These are very actual practical insights that we can use right now. So that's one thing that I have to say, and I'll talk about this more. And here's the thing to understand is that if you are someone that is also a coach or some sort of healer or have a great idea, or I want you to be who you are. Like, I don't want you to hold anything back because you're afraid of offending someone, or that someone's not going to receive you, or that you're not going to get the following that you're looking for. The right people are going to hear you. And so now that I stated this, because that is something else that I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And if you want to really live in your purpose, you are going to create friction. You're going to create friction in other people, and they're not going to necessarily like things that you are going to say. And so I'm just going to say this as I say that to you. There is a lot of information out there that is not accurate. And what do I mean by that? I mean that there's a lot of people that want you to think that this is difficult to do, that you have to have some big program, that they're the only one that can help you, that you can't access this yourself. And they really have made a huge business out of it. And not saying that everyone is not good at what they do, because there are so many great, great, great healers on this planet. And there are so many more that are truly dialed in, that have truly done the work, and that they are really able to help you. But my philosophy is always that is that if anyone is making it these big ideas that seem like out of reach for you, or you have to spend so much money, and I'm not saying don't invest, because my programs are an investment as well, but I am always in momentum of energy with you and partnering with you, taking that energy forward, making sure that you are getting better and awake as quickly as possible. Now, I'm not rushing it, but I love my clients. I love helping, but I'm here to help the people that I'm meant to help, and people get better. People get awake, and they feel in alignment with themselves. And my point is, anyone that's trying to make these too big of a deal and trying to keep you around to continue to work with them for long, long periods of time, and you're not seeing results or very little results, or it just seems out of reach and it doesn't seem like you understand it, or that's probably not the person for you. And I'm just warning you that there are an awful lot of programs, books, authors, content creators, healers that I can see through them. They just have not done the work, and they've made a business out of it. And absolutely, having a business, this obviously we all have to make some sort of living, I guess, but I'm talking about something very different. I'm talking about that it's about you working with someone that truly, truly guides you, or listening to a podcast like this that truly, truly gives you tools to be able to awaken that power within yourself. So I just wanted to state that, because this show might create some controversy with some people. I'm not afraid to hold anything back. If you ever have questions on anything, definitely please feel free to reach out. But I am here to educate and here to elevate. I want people to know the truth, and that is something that I will be sharing with you. My own experience of what I've experienced, as well as what I read in the collective. Whenever I say things like this, it is absolutely not a judgment. I'm not judging people if they are doing things like this, where they might not have done the work, or they're trying to make it too hard for you and they just want you to be part of their program or something like that. I am not judging them by any means, because I want you to remember something, that people can just be limited. They're limited in their mindsets. They are where they are. So we're not judging them or upset with them about it. It's just that they just are where they are. So remember that your energy is extremely sacred, and listen to your intuition and make sure that you are working with, or whatever, if it's not, you're not necessarily working with someone, but you're listening to information that resonates with you, because what you are taking in is affecting your vibration. Same thing with music. I would talk a lot about music. I am a huge researcher on sound frequencies and how that affects the brain and the consciousness. And so we'll talk more about that. Mainstream music is tuned to lower frequencies. And so we just have to be really careful what we're consuming. And that includes podcasts, social media, things that you're looking at, getting tarot readings on TikTok from people you don't know. Just be really careful. So the show is, I totally digress, but the show is about education, and I am really going to educate you on a lot, and it's going to be really powerful for you. So here's what's in store over the coming weeks. I'm going to be sharing lots of conversations, stories, and insights about various fascinating topics from experts and, of course, myself. And then also we are going to be expecting episodes about the latest in quantum energy, as well as decoding the universe, and exciting news. I actually am teaching a class this weekend on Saturday. If you're listening to this before then, it's going to be on February 22nd of 2025. And it is virtual online. It's only $50. It's through the Infinity Foundation, which is located in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. And they are going to be having my class. It's through them, but you can actually find it on my website, $50. And you will get the recording afterwards. It's a 3-hour class. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, actually 10 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm in Denver at the moment, but it is going to be 9 o'clock Central Time. So if you are in that part of the country, it's going to be 9 o'clock. You can find it on my website, as well as going to the Infinity Foundation to find that class, and I will connect that. I will put that in the show notes if you're interested. I'm going to be giving away a meditation with it that you will be able to take with you and listen to later, as well as a manifesting guide and some other great exercises and journal prompts. So definitely don't want to miss that for $50. It's a super awesome deal, and it is called Decoding the Universe and also Awakening Your Cosmic Mind. So we are going to talk a lot about on this show, shifting the energy a little bit away from that class, how to shift into higher states of consciousness. And remember something, everything is within you. It's like I was stating earlier, everything is within you. I'm here to help you access that. I don't want you to rely on exterior systems. I really don't want you to ever rely on anybody, but I do understand that mentors come in, but they should be coming in and leaving. You know, mentors are not something that should be forever, that you're continuing to, you know, you should get to a point where you work with someone, they're a mentor, and then you have another mentor that you work through, because you're constantly evolving. Everything is within you. And then eventually you start teaching. So you're always the student, and then the teacher, and then the student again, and then the teacher. And I love that. And I can't tell you how much that happens constantly in my own journey. And I'm going to share so many stories about my own experience that is going to absolutely inspire you. And I love being transparent and open, because everyone needs to know that we're all in this together, that nobody's better than anyone. This is about us sharing and experiencing this experience together. So we also are going to talk about ancient spiritual practices. I love talking about that. I am so big into history, definitely not the history that you're learning in school, but more about Egyptians, and Egyptian history is super cool, as well as I will talk about some of the religious sort of history, but it is going to be away from what you're used to and more of looking at things in metaphors. So that's always really interesting too, and I love sharing that. So we're going to explore a lot on energy healing and the mysteries, again, of the intuition, as well as uncover secrets behind your mindfulness, meditation, and going within to access your power. Your power is always within. I will share so many dreams that I've had from the divine and my higher self about really how to access that and really what is true. So, and again, it's always about your perspective. I'm so open, just because I might say something doesn't necessarily mean that it resonates with you. So always take what resonates with you. We're going to sprinkle in some practical tools. I'm definitely going to do exercises with you, ways for you to really grow and be able to feel comfortable in your intuitive power, and tips on how to align with your soul's purpose. I'm going to talk more about your soul's blueprint and really how to figure out what that is, and different signs and synchronicities and, impulses that you have about creative energies. And we're all unique and we all have unique purpose. And so that's really about what the soul's blueprint is. And we'll talk more about that. And there are things that tie into that, like human design. You can look at human design as well as astrology, numerology. These can all be part of your soul blueprint. So excited to share that all with you. And so it's going to be really interactive too. I want to hear from you. As I stated earlier, I really want to know about topics that are going to ignite your curiosity. What do you want to hear? What do you want me to talk about? As well as if you have questions, definitely reach out. You can find me on social media, as well as just shoot us over an email. Let us know what you're looking for. What kind of topics are you interested in? What questions do you have? If there's something to talk about on a show, definitely reach out. Let us know if you have a question on something. And we're going to read those. If you have a question you want me to talk about on the show, I'm going to absolutely share those. What are the mysteries of the universe? Are you eager to explore? That would be a great question. Together, we're going to create a dialogue. And this is a community. This is a podcast or radio show, I call it, for all of us. Like, we're in this together. I can't stress that enough. Like, this is an energy collective. When we transition out of the physical form, we're not separate. It's never separate. You're going to hear me talk a lot about oneness and what that really means. And I don't think it always means what people think it means. And I'm going to break that down and be able to show you scientific proof of that, as well as we're going to intertwine the spirituality into that. And I also want to state, because people often ask me this, is this going to be about religion, or is spirituality about religion? Well, probably if you're listening to this podcast, that's not true. Absolutely not. Religion is again, I might say things that might offend some people, but these are my perspectives. And you're listening to this because you probably are feeling the same, or maybe you're on the verge. I don't know. Religion is a lower frequency. It's not essentially what really is. I will explain more of that, and you might know that. But it's limiting. Anytime something is limiting and feels like I can't go higher because of limitation, then it doesn't resonate. So the show is not about religion. I talk a lot about metaphors from the Bible. I talk about Christ consciousness, which is not like what's in the Bible, and we will talk more about that. And where we are moving is an energy collective. We're moving away from these control systems of that your power is accessed outside of you from someone else. And so it's all within. And that's what Christ consciousness is. It's not actually about Christ. It's about an idea. It's about an energy. It's about an embodiment of what you truly are. So I'll talk a lot about that and how to really access that and what that truly means, because I was confused. The first time that I heard Christ consciousness, I was turned off. It's like, great. I'm not into that religious stuff. I was born one of the weird kids. I laugh because it's not really, I don't really believe that, but to society that is it's just becoming recent that it's okay to be intuitive. I don't even like the word psychic, because I think that word has been ruined by people that also use that as a business. And that I will talk a lot about that, about psychic readings. I am an intuitive medium, which means that I read energy But I don't like telling people their future because you create your own reality. So I don't believe it's real. I think you can get an energy snapshot of things that are going on. Absolutely. But you have the power to change it. This is not, if you believe what someone is telling you, it's just like the placebo effect, then your mind is powerful. You will manifest your cosmic mind. Your ego's in on that too. Subconscious mind. You will manifest what you believe. The universe responds to feelings. That's what the universe really responds to. And so I don't even know how I got on this subject, but that's definitely a Lindsay thing. So with being a born intuitive medium, about 8 years ago, I experienced a near-death experience, and I kind of talked about this earlier, but I was reawakened to the intuitive knowing that I had as a kid. When people talk about being confused and knowing that there's something different for them, and they come to me and they find me, I know exactly what you're feeling. I was one of those people. I had gotten married. I tried to do the marriage thing. I tried to fit in. I tried to act like this part of myself didn't exist. And then the universe, well, my higher self, that's what I truly believe that the universe is actually you. Because everything is connected, decided that it was time to have a spiritual awakening. And while that was happening, and I will get in more detail of that another time, but while that was happening, I was having this experience where I thought I was going to die. And I actually did leave my body, that I was reminded that I'm here to guide others to the infinite energy that's in all of us. And that's why I'm here. That's why I've created Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. And also, I use techniques that tap into the subconscious mind. So I'm very much integrating those unseen energies with scientific proof, like what we know with the mind and what we can actually see. And so I believe that that's why it's so powerful, because most people, even if you are someone that is on the verge or possibly you're already over to the other side of not always needing to have proof of things, it is still nice when you can have proof that, oh, yes, my thoughts really are linked up to the universe and how I manifest, like the placebo effect. You know, doctors, I'm also an acupuncturist, for years have said that acupuncture is sham. It's just placebo effect. Well, yeah, wonderful, great. Yes, that's great. That shows how powerful people are when they believe something is working. So yes, it's nice to have proof. So having some of these techniques that I do along with these intuitive gifts that I have, I don't even know if I necessarily like the word gift, but these purposes and what I know in my soul DNA. And by the way, everyone's very intuitive. And if you want to use the word psychic, everyone's psychic. And anyone that's telling you that not everyone's psychic. I had an intuitive medium or psychic tell me that one time that I wasn't. And I never talked to her again because I knew that wasn't true. And I can hear my guides saying to me, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I truly believe that was for her own ego to try to hold me back from believing in my purpose. I don't want to say gifts because we're all gifted. And I never booked a reading with an intuitive or psychic ever again because I realized that why am I asking someone else for guidance when I know the truth? And that was quite a turning point. So I just want you to know that everyone is psychic, and some of us are coded to know more than others, but that doesn't mean that you can't learn those things, that you can't access that information. So I don't ever want you to feel that way because it's absolutely not true. I'm here to empower you. No one's better than anyone, or you can access those energies too. And I know how to help you to be able to do that. So this led to my life's work of really bridging the gap between science and spirituality. And as a licensed health provider for nearly 2 decades, I definitely have an eye for what we can see in the form in front of us, like science, but I also have an intuitive eye for what are nonlinear and unseen energies. And the universe is not linear. Science is linear. I guess not always, but definitely most of everything is the unseen energies. And everything, even science, started as a thought. So it started as an energy, and then somebody was just able to prove it. So I've made it my mission, but also the mission that my higher self chose, to understand how these two worlds work together, not as opposites, but as partners. And that's really where I see the universe going, and just as an energy collective, as is that people, as in you, all of us, are going to be requesting more of this integration. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of medical systems and different ways of doing things, power systems. I don't want to get too much into that. They're breaking down because people are awakening and they're asking for deeper meaning to things and looking for power within. So these systems are really falling apart, and we're seeing it right in front of us. And I'm here to help you understand more about that, and really more about accessing your power versus talking more in the conspiracy theories. I do like conspiracy theories, but I wouldn't say that I necessarily think that's always a great way to where to put your energy, because sometimes it can be very negative. So we are all about empowering here. So educating you, but also keeping you on the path of keeping your frequency high. So sometimes paying attention to some of that stuff can lower your frequency and put you in a fear-based mode. So I definitely don't want to be doing that, but also educating you. So I have helped hundreds of people step into their intuitive power over the years and awaken their most authentic selves and power within. And now I get the joy of doing that here with you. And I'm so, so excited. I have so many stories of transformations, as I stated before, client success stories. I'm also going to have clients on here that are going to talk about their experience. And also as an energy channel, I've been doing lots of channeling, also channeling, not only just channeling like I'm channeling when I'm doing this radio show, but also I channel higher level beings, and I can talk more about some of that information, as well as some of the archangels. And so we will talk about that. That's always fun too, but you can do that as well. Anyone can channel. It's just really about getting out of the way to be able to bring those energies in. And it's not scary at all. You just have to remain grounded, and I can talk more about that as well. I won't get into that too much now because that can be a very long conversation. So this is going to be amazing, and we're going to give you so much clarity, inspiration, and drive to learn more and more and more about the amazing magic that is within you. It is your right to know that. And I'm going to make sure that you know all the amazingness that you have been coded with, and that you can do all these things too. So I want you to be in your power. And it is not like power, or women power or anything like that. I'm not a fan of that either. I believe that we're all connected, and it's about your power, what you already are. That's what, when I say power, that's what I'm talking about. So this podcast is not just about information, it's education, and we are co-creating together. And also something I love to say, I never say I'm going to work. I always say I'm going to create, because when you start looking at your life as really creating versus working, you enjoy it a lot more and you see it more as a masterpiece. I just think of life as a masterpiece. And I invite you to join our vibrant and growing community of conscious mind and infinite creators here at this radio show. So definitely make sure to hit that follow button, share this episode with someone who you think really needs it, because together we're cultivating a space where we can ask these big questions, as I mentioned before, share insights, and cheer each other on as we awaken to the infinite power within all of us. I am all about community. I'm all about the right linking up with the right souls on the same frequency. That's what I'm all about. And if you ever, I will talk more about that. I'm going to talk about toxic relationships. I will talk about narcissism. I will talk about how to listen to your intuition when something doesn't feel right. And I don't want to digress again too much, but this is a space of us all being in this together. And I want you to feel that way. I want you to be able to feel that there are others out there that are absolutely in your corner. So there are good people out there too. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. I just have to say, it probably digressed a whole ton more than I was expecting to, but everything happens the way that it's supposed to. And again, I can't wait to share so much more with you. And so, all right, my awakened friends, my co-creators of the universe, thank you so much for joining me in this exciting next chapter of this first episode of Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. If this introduction this welcome episode has given you a spark or interest of excitement, which I'm sure that it has. I know that it's super exciting for me to deliver it to you. Make sure to subscribe. As I stated earlier, you can hit that button, that subscribe button, so you don't ever miss an episode. You're not going to want to miss this. I will be posting episodes on Tuesdays, and you can also share this with a friend who's ready to explore the cosmic mind and all the amazing energies of the universe, as well as the esoterics, and really being able to unlock your soul purpose and blueprint and help you with your self-mastery. And everything will be linked in the show notes for even more content and behind the scenes fun. And until next time, remember that you are part of something infinite and something absolutely extraordinary. And that infinite potential, well, it has always been within you, and you are just about to unlock it if you haven't already with joining us at Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. And much love always. And I am your host, your conscious awakening guide, and I will see you soon. And that's a wrap for this episode on Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. If this episode sparked your curiosity or lit a fire in your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your Cosmo-loving bestie, and hey, if you're feeling the vibes, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, remember this, it's your universe, and you hold the power to master it. I'll see you next time in a mind-expanding Intuitive Mind Lab Radio episode. Stay curious, bold, and always true to your authentic self. Much love always.